Hey guys, it's me, Jeffrey again. Sorry for the interruption, but I had a lot of stuff to do today, and the camera just kind of died out. So yeah, there's that. So this is a part two of me breaking down my video called "United: The Chronicles of the Journey and Unity." So, for those who want context, to go check out part one, and let's let's get started. I last left off at 4:49, and so I'll give you a few seconds to kind of to sync up. So yeah, three. So yeah. And I'll also leave part one in the description down below for you guys to find it. And yeah, so here we go. Let's start. Uh, let's start this off. So we're at 4:49. 3, 2, 1, play. Buffering, 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 buffering. Wow, I'm completely messing up here. Hold on. Sorry, technical difficulties. So, yeah, 4:49 and 3 and Now that right there was really kind of like how to illustrate how mad we were that we were like how everyone seems to how the studios always seem to think that you're supposed to target only one specific audience, and you're supposed to target one specific audience that likes everything to be fun and all of that, but everything kind of needs to have a diversity in their movies and in their own universes. Like you can't have the like you have the MCU that is kind of like a Hershey bar. Everything is sweet, everything is fun and all that. Like every piece of the Hershey bar tastes exactly the same. But then you have Skittles, which is DC, which you can kind of hate the DCEU for all it is, but that's the thing with the DCEU. You have multiple genres of movies, like you have the comedy in in Birds of Prey, the light-hearted Shazam, the 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 very light but at the same time very dark Shazam movie. You have Batman v Superman, that's very dark and gritty. You have Man of Steel, that's also dark and gritty. But like you have all of these movies that are just many different flavors of a rainbow that like if you don't like it, then that's one movie you don't like in the DCEU. But the thing is, the only difference is they are they are actually using multiple genres, like a horror genre, a gangster crime drama, and in the Suicide Squad, or even in Studio Squad as they call it. Every genre, the DCEU has like multiple genres of movies while the MCU is the same. And really, to keep people invested, and fans know this, is to always branch off on different regimes and genres of movies and entertainment. So that's what we're so really like. We understand that you're trying to do it the safe route, but sometimes you have to get bold on things because that's how. Because if you don't do anything bold, then you're not living really. You're just playing it safe. So, yeah, that's. So now I'm on 501. So, yeah, here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Justice League. They had us deceived and under the impression that it was gonna be the cream of the crop, but it ended up that what was received looked like a low budget piece of shit that sucked the sea. The time is coming. Now that right there was really like we understand that you were, and that right there when I was dancing to that little lyric right there was like kind of us saying, was representing us saying that, hey, we get it, but at the same time, like, we feel betrayed because because they lied to the fans, and really that's just really kind of unforgivable. Like, you could have said that, hey, we're going to switch up to Joss Whedon because we could have been, because we're worried about you not liking Justice League. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Like, we might have hated it, but we would have at least appreciated your honesty. Like, we get it that you were scared. Like, everyone is scared from time to time, but what they could have done is at least tell us the truth right from the get-go. But they didn't have to, like, lie to our faces for 3 years for us to get this movie out. Like, all this could have been avoided. Like, we really would have understood it. So, yeah, that's my interpretation of it, at least. So, so now we're at 514. So 3, 2, 1, play. Now, that right there was with Darkseid going at it. Like, really, this is just my fun interpretation of it. Like, with me going down, looking right at the cameras, and imitating Darkseid's voice, saying release to the Snyder Cut. Really, that's kind of like my interpretation of, like, kind of like a fun interpretation of Zach saying release the Snyder Cut to WB. So that's just a little my 2 cents on that right there. So that kind of ends chapter 1 of the chronicle of the video. And now for part 2, like chapter 2, this song is really going to be kind of a lot vulgar and a lot more aggressive. And this is where I think people are really going to start to appreciate it more. So, and the song is called This House by Tom McDonald. I'll leave the original video in the description down below, and you should subscribe to him. He is a really great artist. So, yeah, thanks for Tom for this one. And yeah, so here we go. 5:46, 3, 2, 1. Now that right there, with those little like tweets, like there's a reason why, right there, right out of the gate, that with those little pop-ups. Now, those little pop-ups are really like the negative. Is kind of like about the negative response that we've been getting about the hashtag of getting the Snyder Cut out and Zack Snyder's Justice League out. Like people dissing us, people calling us toxic, people bashing Zack's name, people really going above and beyond, like saying that like saying Adam's name in vain to attack him, and about his suicide. Like it was just like a huge mess for us at this time, and this is really kind of like, and really like this song that I wanted to do was really kind of like a response to all of that negativity and going right back at them. So that's so now we're at 5:54. We're at 5:54, and at 3, 2, 1, play. Buffering.
Been talking crazy, feel like everybody's got something to say. They misinterpreted my good intentions and expected I was just gonna step away. If there's a heart that pumps and there's a breath to take, then I won't bite my tongue as long as I'm awake and they don't have the guts to make a dumb mistake. I'd rather crash a car than never touch the brakes.
Now that right there is really kind of like a whole thing. Now that's a whole lot to package in, so I'm gonna go. So really, like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to really kind of go bar for bar right there and really kind of break down my interpretation of everything, because this is going to be a lot to take in. So here we go. So 54. So we're going back to 5:54. 3, 2, 1. Buffering.
Crazy, feel like everybody's got something to say. They misinterpreted my good intentions and
now that right there, they misinterpreted my good intentions and thought I was just going to step away. Now, when I was going, now in my interpretation of this song and really how I danced to it is really like, you really did think that you did misinterpret our good intentions by saying like we did want a movie, but then you're saying like, oh, you're going to ruin the DCEU, you're going to ruin Hollywood and all that with your toxic fandom and all that. But at the same time, like, you really don't know us. Like you thought we were just gonna kind of step away from that, and then that comes for the fans' perspective, and then when it comes to Zach's perspective, it's like Zach made these two great movies but he's like talking to you guys, the people that don't like his DCEU, and he's saying you misinterpreted my good intentions to make this movie, and you thought me getting out, he taking a break from this would have me step away, but no, I'm back, and we're back, and I'm stronger than ever. So that right there is a double entendre in itself, right there. So 5:58, 3, 2, 1. Buffering.
Expected I was just gonna step away. If there's a heart that pumps and there's a breath to take, then I won't bite my tongue as long as I'm awake and they don't have the guts to make a dumb mistake. I'd rather crash a car than never touch the brakes. I built this.
Now that right there is really kind of like you, like, if you thought that, like, you really did the thing that we were just gonna be done in kind of like a year or so, and this was never gonna come again. But as long as we breathe, we would keep fighting, and won't give up until we got Zack Snyder's Justice League out, and we got it out. And crash a car and never touch the brake. Well, we'd rather crash a car than never touch the brakes. Now, how I interpret that is kind of like how we would go headstrong into a store with a car, then play it safe. Like we want to go all out on this. We need to see it. The world needs to see it. And there's no one who was gonna stop us. And as you can see now in 2020, that happened. Like, we didn't press the brakes on a car. We just kept going, and until we crashed to WB, and then we got Zack Snyder's Justice League released. So that's my interpretation of it. 607, 3, 2, 1.
In-house. They're the kind of people that be dying for exposure. They're the kind of people that get mad and lose composure. They're the kind of people that are never going forward. They're just
Now that right there is like they're never going forward. Like, really, it's like how, even though, like, how the Snyder Cut movement has really been like how we've seen this negativity, and we've just been kind of ignoring it for a while, but at the same time we would confront them when need be. And then you can kind of also see it as another double entendre, where it was really kind of like the people who hate Zack saying that, oh, you guys aren't going, like people like Jody Corner saying, oh, you wouldn't be having, you're not going forward. Like like Wonder Woman has all these bright future things for DC, yet you're staying in this 1 cent. But at the same time, it's kind of like a double entendre where the fans are like saying, no, what's going on is you are not is that we do care about the future of DC, but we just want to see Zack's version of it. And then the future is, right now, it's kind of like a win in both ways. Now, in that total aspect, where you have this whole multiverse thing where And now it seems like the past is now a part of the future. Like you can't really interpret it anything else. Like it's a win for both the past and the past is the way to the future. So it's like kind of like a win-win-win for both Zack Snyder fans, for the general audience fans, and also the and also for AT&T and WB. So it's kind of like a triple win, a triple entendre in a sense. So yeah, and we're on 613. 3, 2, 1, play.
Ones, the ones that are looking for apologies, hating real loud, but they follow me screaming at the top of their lungs. I'm the scum of the earth, and
now that right there was at so that right there, like hating real loud, but they follow me. Now that's really kind of like a point of view on like Zach's part and the fans' part as well. Like you're hating us, but yeah, you're hating on us, but you follow me. Like everyone is like has haters. Like we all know this. Everyone has haters. Like this is the real world. Like in the perfect world, there would be no haters, but the fact that there are haters means that you're still kind of popular. And really, that's what it kind of means. Like, you're hating real loud, but you follow me. Like, you're hating me, but you're still making me popular by talking about me. And so, that's really the interpretation of that. And really, it's like you're hating the Snyder Cut movement, but you're still making the Snyder Cut popular by talking about the Snyder Cut and the Snyder Cut movement. So, in that aspect, that's really kind of like a double entendre on Zack and fans. So, yeah. 616.
at the top of their lungs, I'm the scum of the earth, and the same damn breath trying to preach about equality. Back before I wrote the song on race, they all ignored that I had something great. They tried to edge me out, they didn't hear my bars, they tried to tell me that I wasn't built.
Oh, hold up. I'm way off.
The kind of people that get mad lose composure. They're the kind of people that are never going forward.
So right now I'm at 613. So 3, 2, 1, play.
The ones that are looking for apologies, hating real loud, but they follow me screaming at the top of their lungs. I'm the scum of the earth, and the same damn breath trying to preach about equality. Back before I wrote
now that right there is like where people are saying, "Oh, you're hating on us for saying that you don't want Zach, but at the same time you want people to make their own movies and all that." But it's like if you're hating, then it's kind of like it's kind of makes you a hypocrite in a sense where it's really like you're hating on Zach having a voice for his movie, but at the same time you're like, oh, you're just hey, you're really, but I want equality for artists as well. I want artistic integrity as well. Like, that's hypocritical if you're saying that you don't like Zach's movies and you don't want him back, want his Snyder Cut, and saying, but I do want equality for artistic integrity. So, and if you really think about it, it's like you're kind of being a hypocrite. So, yeah. So we're at 621. 3, 2, 1, play.
They all ignored that I had something great. They tried to edge me out. They didn't hear my bars. They tried to tell me that I wasn't built for fame. Fast forward to when I'm paid. I ain't spent $1 on the chain. I'll get my mama a house, I'll get my dad a car, I'll make my sister rich, she'll never work again. And this
Wait, hold up.
underwhelming.
Oh, wow, hold up. So, wow, going back.
Hear my bars, they tried to tell me that I wasn't built for fame. Fast forward to when I'm paid. I ain't spend $1 on the chain.
So that right there is like you tried to edge me out. You didn't hear my bars. You tried to guilt and shame me for something I had something great. Now that's like a really interpretation like Zach. Now in that aspect, like that's really Zach talking to his haters, saying that you really didn't get what I had, but at the same time, and I kind of saw this like a fortune teller. You really didn't have you really were hating on me because you didn't really get my movie, and I get it. And I saw it like a fortune teller because you didn't, you're so used to the Marvel formula, and I get it. Like, it's the most popular thing, but he still got it. And Deborah, Deborah said that the reason why they make movies is really to spark a conversation about movies. Like, everyone talks about BBS because it's so divisive, or kind of like a impact on pop culture, that people are still talking about it to this day, and that's their main goal, to spark a conversation. That's the main goal of Zach and Deborah, to spark a conversation so that movies can be talked about. That's what art is supposed to be. It's supposed to be talked about, not just enjoyed and hated, but ultimately to spark a conversation. So, yeah. And really like told me that I wasn't built for fame, and yeah. So 6:30, 3, 2, 1, play.
I'll get my mama a house, I'll get my dad a car, I'll make my sister rich, she'll never work again. And this hater is so underwhelming. I'm conditioned for all the abuse. Seeing the reaction.
Now that's hold up. This is really gonna sting it. Let's go back. So 6:32. 3, 2, 1, play.
Mr. Rich will never work again, and this hater is so underwhelming. I'm conditioned for all the abuse. Seeing the reaction videos all blowing up, and you're welcome for all of the views. Blow up my Twitter.
Now that right there is now. I actually, let me just play it back one more time, because this scheme is really important for you guys to hear. So 6:35, 3, 2, 1, play.
The abuse, seeing the reaction videos all blowing up, and you're welcome for all of the views. Blow up my Twitter. Y'all just keep making me bigger. Y'all just keep showing you triggered. Y'all just keep missing the point, and I keep doing me. Y'all ain't nothing to even consider. Man, I built this. Now that right there was kind of like Zach and the Snyder Cut movement saying like, hey, you loud but you follow me, and really you're just making us bigger by showing all these reaction videos, and you're welcome for all of the views. You're welcome for this stuff we're giving you for that aspect. And it's like, even though you're all being negative, like Cosmo Not Variety Hour, he yesterday, like he's still kind of making Zach bigger either way. So it's like, you're welcome for all of the views. Like, and thank you for making me bigger. So it's like,
you're making all this hate videos, yet you're like saying, yet it's like, oh, it's like you're making all these hate videos, but you're all just making us look bigger. So, so in that way, it's like really, 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 really ironic. So, 647, 3, 2, 1.
House. I'm the kind of person making music with a purpose. You the kind of people that be hating on the surface. I'm the kind that you ain't used to, the kind of make you nervous. Yeah, back before.
Now, that right there was really kind of like kind of like, now, wait, hold up. He went way too fast right there. So 648, 3, 2, 1, play.
I'm the kind of person making music with a purpose. You the kind of people that be hating on the surface.
So I'm the kind of person who's making music with a purpose. Like, so,
I'm the kind that you ain't used to, the kind of make you nervous. Yeah, back before I even wrote the record, I can see this coming like a.
so it's like that right there is kind of like saying, oh, you really just, you like, kind of like you just don't get it yet. I'm kind of like the mastermind of this whole thing. I'm driving the conversation and stuff like that. so, so yeah, 656, 3, 2, 1, play.
Fortune teller, rent a calm sea, don't make a skilled sailor, so I thank the heavens for the stormy weather. Okay, fast forward to when we're.
So I thank the heavens for the stormy weather. Now, in this video, I really kind of interpreted it as like Zach saying, "Thank you for all the rev of the stormy weather that you guys gave us." Like the stormy weather that you gave us really gave this kind of corn to to grow. So thank you for the storm, guys. We really do appreciate it for the hate that you're giving us, because it's because you helped us win this by making it more popular. So it's like, really, thank you guys. So yeah, that's my interpretation of it. So we're at 701, 3, 2, 1, play.
We're old and gray. I'll be looking back when they posted hate, and it will hurt a bit, but it was worth it when your dream is getting hurt, no matter what they say. I try conveying that I.
Now, that right there is like, you say that, when we're old and gray, we'll be looking back at all the hate, but then that's when we'll realize